Welcome to Night Dragon's Rapid Fire interview series. Today I have the great pleasure of being here with Tucker Callaway, CEO of Mezmo. Thanks for being here with us today, Tucker.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be on.
Great. Well, let's jump right on in and maybe start with a simple one. And for those that don't know, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Mezmo does?
Yeah, Mezmo, we've been around for a while. We are actually our founding premise was we were the logging infrastructure provider for the IBM cloud, and so that gave us a lot of really practical, large scale kind of enterprise experience. About 5 years ago, when I joined, we really shifted our focus to the real time processing of data, and then of course, recently we've all been like looking at what does the world look like in an AI world, and so that's been a big focus for us. Actually, the set of capabilities we have come together in a really special way, we think, to enable AI. So our focus right now, we made a big decision about a year ago and shifted our focus entirely on making production AI a reality, specifically things that are workflows that are derived off of telemetry type data. So with that, we've got two offerings. We've got Aura, which we just released last week or 2 weeks ago now. I'm super excited about it. Aura is an open source agent harness that's tailored to the specific challenges of AI in production. It has things like persistence, transparency, multi-agent orchestration, and just powers a system of context across production for an enterprise. And then the second half of our offering is the Mezmo platform, which engineers context out of telemetry data to make sure those agentic outcomes that all our customers are looking for are both cost effective and also deterministic and trusted. So that's kind of who Mezmo is today. Like I said, we made this decision a year ago to go all in on this moment, to go all in on a world that is driven by AI. So we're really excited for what's ahead of us.
So maybe take a little click down here and talk about some of the real world challenges that your customers are facing and what outcomes do you drive for them?
Yeah, so when you think about production AI, it's actually a really big, broad topic. Specifically within production AI, we think about the use case we're initially focused on is observability. And then specifically within observability, there's a category that's being created as we speak called AI SRE. So today, the SREs who are trying to get value out of AI in production, they have two options. One option is they try to assemble generic frameworks to deliver an agent, which is possible, but it takes a lot of work, expertise, there's a lot of maintenance, and basically everybody has to start from scratch. Their other option would be that they go purchase an AI SRE capability. That's also got its own challenges. These are typically delivered by some of the large incumbent vendors or new startups in the space, but they're typically delivered in very kind of closed silos. They're built on top of old data schemas that aren't intended for agent consumption. And so the result there is actually more cost and less trust. It's not actually working out in a way that we think it should. And so what we provide is twofold. One is we have an open source control plane, as I mentioned, called Aura. That's easy to configure, production ready, agent harness that allows teams to configure and use their own LLMs. And then secondly, we have we process the data specifically for agents, which delivers lower cost and more trust in the data that's delivered. So while AI presents a lot of opportunities, when we think about a world with unlimited coding capacity and unlimited analytic capability, we're making that approachable and attainable for all of our customers in production.
That's great. And you've just touched on a number of this, but maybe go just a little deeper in how Mezmo is using AI and agentic AI as part of the platform. We know that you've obviously got some really exciting development in this area with the Aura framework, which you've mentioned, but maybe tell us just a little more about that.
It's a super interesting question, actually. And I probably have a little more passion on it than you might think.
Love it.
Yeah, so I think we're heading for a moment that many companies and especially vendors aren't really ready for. So the nature of the question to me aligns with what I see as a flaw in the market in a way. So I don't think we can continue to exist as vendors in the future if we're just adding AI into our UIs or trying to build agents on top of our existing data platforms. Like the paradigm shift that's about to happen, it's just too different. It's like one system is based on UIs and legacy data strategies that were built for human consumption, and that's just not the way to build anymore. And so I'm passionate about it because we took our medicine on this as a vendor like a year ago and shifted our focus to assume AI as a default. Rather than building UIs in our product, we assume that our customers are going to be using things like Cursor, Claude, and Codex, and they're going to be building embedded capabilities into their AI workflows. And then as we process the data, as you know, we were for a long time we were focused on processing data to reduce Datadog bills and things like that. But that's all at the end of the day, just humans consuming the data and not agents consuming the data. And so we found that we can reduce the cost of data by over 99% because agents need so much less data than humans need to make effective decisions. So for us, it's like not even about using AI. It's just we assume it as a default. You know, we've been around for a while, which has a lot of benefits of experience and scale and understanding the enterprise. So we can't be AI native, as they would say today. But we are fully transitioned. Like we fully made that commitment and made the transition. So we're excited. We think our breadth of capacity that we have, or capabilities that we have, and our approach is a step ahead of the market. Time will tell, but we feel pretty good about it right now.
Oh, it's terrific. It's a perfect segue. We walked right into this this next question beautifully.
Good, perfect.
What do you envision as the future potential of agentic AI as a part of Mezmo, as well as for perhaps observability more broadly?
Yeah, no, it's yeah. So I guess I have two ways I think about that. And those two kind of come into an outcome that I think is going to happen that I'm excited about. I think NightDragon's excited about it too, but I'm excited about it for sure. And that is that I think we're going to see a rapid shift in the next 2 years to autonomous operations in production. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean no people. That's not what I mean. But it probably does mean fewer people managing, care and feeding, and maintaining systems. But I think that there's an enterprise change management that'll be a bottleneck more so than the technology. I think the technology is there, very close to being there, and what we'll look at is more of a enterprise change management problem. But I think enterprises will be motivated, and so we have an answer for that too. But that's another type of drill down. And the second is, for us, this isn't about observability. As I mentioned earlier, observability is just a use case that we're starting with. So when you think about production AI, the form of the problems that happen in production AI are very similar across observability, cybersecurity, IT operations. And so when we have things like, these workflows basically apply equally, and especially when you can put together multi-agent orchestration to solve complex problems autonomously. So those are two different factors. One's kind of the form factor of these workflows is largely similar, and AI gives us the ability to consolidate those. And then we also have this enterprise change management. But I believe those two factors come together, and it's going to drive a collapse of both categories and organizations that are built on top of telemetry data today. So if you think about it, this telemetry data, logs, metrics, traces that's been generated by servers and applications for many, many years has given rise to so many different applications, so many different categories, and so many different organizations that are all operating on top of that. We believe that this approach to production AI can really collapse all of that and drive a tremendous amount of efficiency and trust for organizations. So we've as an industry, we've been talking about this for years. I think it's going to happen now.
Yeah. Well, maybe my final question before we wrap, Tucker, is, so what comes next for Mezmo? You've touched on a number of things, but what should we share with the audience before we conclude?
Yeah. So we did cover a lot of stuff. I took us pretty far out there, so I kind of feel like my job right now is let's bring us back down to where we are today. I'm so excited about how these capabilities will come together. There's so much potential for what we're calling production AI, but we are early. It's early in this journey of AI. It's early in this journey of production AI, especially. So as I mentioned, we open sourced Aura last week, so we're super excited for that. What we're doing now is we're digging in with customers and making production AI a reality. It's happening today, and so we'll talk with anyone who wants to know more, to discuss the subject. We think there's a lot of opportunities for people to accelerate themselves by using Aura. If you are working with telemetry data and trying to figure out what the first step to take is, Aura is a great step. It's a great place to get familiar with AI. A great place, if you know, as you build with it, it's yours. It's open source, so you can build on it comfortably. And of course, we'd love to help you. So reach out.
That's great. Well, we've got a long relationship with Night Dragon. We love the continued partnership and look forward to all that lay ahead for Mezmo. So thanks for your time today, Tucker.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.